David Maddox is here, political editor of The Independent. David, very good morning to you.
Morning, Mike. How are you?
Not bad at all. Shabana Mahmood's out and about today, talking about how disappointed she is that some of the organisers of the marches last night didn't heed the call to step back. A lot of people this morning quite surprised that that this country and this government is kind of standing aside while people seem to be celebrating the deaths of innocent British people on the streets of Manchester.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say I'm not going to defend that sort of thing. It's absolutely shocking. I couldn't believe that they went ahead with it, frankly, last night. I mean, talk about, bad taste doesn't even cover it, frankly. And I know, we want to defend free speech, we want to defend the right to protest, fair enough. But, sometimes there's a time to step back from these things, and it's pretty shocking that they didn't.
But given what Keir Starmer said about, people who attack the police, he made a big mention about the UK march that happened back in London a few weeks ago, where there was, I think, 20 odd people arrested. Last night there were fights going on outside of Whitehall, outside of Downing Street, between the police and the protesters. But he hasn't condemned it.
No, and actually, I think a lot of people would welcome it if he did. I mean, the issue on our streets is not just Islamist or far right or whatever. What we're seeing is an outbreak of different types of extremism, almost on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
And yes, I thought he was right to take the far right stuff head on, but he needs to also take this stuff head on as well, because. But the point is, it's two-tier opinion, isn't it? Again, because exactly.
And you say the far right stuff. I mean, there was a lot of people who were on that march, that UK march, who were not in any way or by any description far right. And the point is that the point is that he singles out things that he wants to have a go at, but yet he ignores other things because he's frightened.
Yes, no, I mean, I completely agree with you, Mike. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you at all. And yes, indeed, many of the people who took part in those protests, a lot of the protests, are decent, ordinary people who are just fed up and kind of gravitate towards these things. I mean, it's the organisers you have to look at in all cases. And I mean, I would hope that Keir Starmer has something to say on it.
I mean, surely it is within the purview of either the Metropolitan Police or the Home Secretary to say to these protesters, this is not the time to be protesting about, free Palestine because people have been killed and you should show a modicum of respect. Rather than asking them to not do it, how about you just say you can't do it? You can do it, in a month, or you can do it, in November. You can't do it now.
Yeah, I remember very well, actually, when I was on my previous job at the Express, not long after the October 7th, when we were still seeing, amazingly, these mass protests against Israel, who at that point weren't really fighting back against Hamas, and had been, subject to this appalling terrorist atrocity on October 7th.
Yeah.
And I remember on this very point on Remembrance Weekend, where they wanted to have a mass protest. And of course, the head of the Metropolitan Police refused to step in to stop it. In fact, I think Suella Braverman was Home Secretary at the time, was kind of umming and erring. But when she tried to step in to stop it, she got sacked. So, this is not just a Labour problem. I think it's a point I'm kind of getting to.
Yeah.
This is an establishment problem.
Yeah, it certainly is. And it's also a police problem to a large extent, because the policing of last night's protest in Whitehall, for example, was not riddled with people with crash helmets on, was not riddled with people on horseback. The police were very, very softly with them. And when it all kicked off, the police were not very well equipped to deal with it.
No, and that's been a pattern, I'm afraid. I'm not sure what Mark Rowley kind of thinks about how he's handling these things. He certainly seemed to have a much more robust presence at that Unite the Kingdom march, but it's something that worries people when you're in central London a lot, when you get these mass protests, especially, I'm afraid, on some of the Palestinian stuff. A lot of decent people there, but there's a lot of kind of nastiness going on underneath as well.
Well, they're chanting things which are plainly not just anti-Semitic, but would otherwise, in most other circumstances, be regarded as hate speech. And yet they get away with it. And they've been getting away with it for nearly 2 years.
Indeed. Well, I mean, I'm not Jewish, but if I were Jewish, I think I'd be terrified. Actually,
imagine. I mean, I just
not just because of yesterday, but because of.
I just spoke to Danny Stone, right? Who's the CEO of the Anti-Semitism Policy Trust. He said to me, "My children have just gone out to school today, to a Jewish school. On their way out, they asked if it was safe for them to walk on the street." Those are children saying those words. I mean, I'm sorry, that is not acceptable in any civilized society.
It's shocking. It's shocking. And I'm afraid to say that I've heard this story many, many times from Jewish friends over the last 2 years. It's, there isn't a Jewish school that it doesn't have security outside it. There isn't a synagogue that doesn't have security outside it, isn't ready for this sort of event. And we have to face a reality that anti-Semitism has not gone away and has been inflated in this country, and that's the harsh reality of it.
It is, and it's been encouraged by our politicians. I'm sorry to say it. David, good to talk to you. Thanks very much. David Maddox, political editor at The Independent.